بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين جل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Bidayat al-Hikmah. We mentioned two objections. The first two objections about mental existence, wujud al-dhihni. And we said some people, in order to answer, they have either denied wujud al-dhihni by saying that whenever we know something, nothing comes to our mind. And knowledge is just a relation between soul and what is known. Another group have tried to answer by saying that, yes, something comes to our mind, but it doesn't need to be identical with what is known. It is shabah, it's a vague picture, vague image of that. Both of these were already refuted before when we mentioned the idea of wujud al-dhihni. Let's see what other answers are given, and then we would say what is the answer given by Mullah Sadra. So, قد أجيب عن الإشكال بوجوه. In different ways, these objections have been answered. منها ما عن بعضهم. It is said that this is actually what Qushti has said. Have you heard Qushti? Qushti is one of the people who has very famous commentary on Tajreed. Tajreed al-I'tiqad by Khaja Nasiruddin Tusi. Kashf al-Murad that we study in Hawza is the commentary by Allama Hilli on Tajreed of Khaja Nasiruddin Tusi. But this book has many commentaries, including Sunni scholars who have made commentaries. Qushti is a Sunni scholar who has commentary on Tajreed. So Qushti has this idea. They have said, أن العلم غير المعلوم. He has tried to distinguish between ilm and ma'loom, between knowledge and what is known. Okay? He says, فَعِنْدَ حُصُولِ مَاهِيَّةٍ مِنَ الْمَاهِيَّاتِ الْخَارِجِيَّةِ فِي الذِّهْنِ. When one of the external quiddities come to the mind, two things happen. Two things are there. One is ilm, one is ma'loom, what is known. أحدهما الماهية الحاصلة نفسها على ما كانت عليه في الخارج. The same mahiyya which was outside comes to the mind exactly as it is outside. وهو المعلوم, and this is what is known. وهو غير قائم بالنفس, and this does not depend, it's not an accident for nafs, does not depend on nafs. بل قائم بنفسه, and this is dependent on itself. It's self-dependent. Okay? حاصل في, it happens in nafs as something happens in time or a space. So nafs becomes container for this mahiyya. But وَالْآخَرِ. But there is a second thing. صِفَةٌ حَاصِلَةٌ لِلنَّفْسِ. At the same time, we have also a second thing, which is a quality for soul, which depends on the soul, which removes ignorance. يَطْرُدُ بِهَا عَنْهَا الْجَهْلِ. يُطْرَدُ بِهَا عَنْهَا الْجَهْلِ. With this, ignorance is removed. When this happens, you are no longer jahil with respect to this. وَهُوَ الْعِلْمِ. And this is knowledge. So, based on this, we have two things. Al-ma'lum and al-ilm. Al-ma'lum mundarajun tahta maqulatihi al-kharijiyya. Al-ma'lum falls under the same category which was outside, jawhar or kam or whatever. Wal-ilmu kayfun nafsani. So, there are two things. Each of them falls under different category. And therefore, there is no problem of how two categories or two subtypes of the same category would be in the same thing. But the answer is, I think, very clear. We don't sense, we don't feel such a thing that we have two things, ilm, and then we have another thing which is the same thing outside, just using our mind as a space or time, as a container. You don't have two things. You have just one thing. Yeah, you don't have two beings. إنه خلاف ما نجده من أنفسنا عند العلم. This is different from what we find in ourselves about knowledge. فإن الصورة الحاصلة في نفوسنا عند العلم بشيئين. The image which happens in our souls when we know something, هي بأينها التي تطرد عنا الجهل. It's the same surah that removes ignorance from us. When that surah comes to us, we say we have no longer jahl, ignorance about that subject. وَتَصِيرُ وَصْفًا لَنَا نَتَّصِفُ becomes a quality for us, and we will be described by that. So this is not good answer. The second answer, and this is the answer that Hakim Sabzawari, Haji Sabzawari, quotes from As-Sayyid Sanad, Sadruddin. Sayyid Sanad or Sayyid Sadruddin has said this idea. He says, and it is interesting that this person is a person who believes in Asalatul Mahiyya. منها ما عن بعض القائلين بأصالة الماهية. One of the answers is from some of the people who believe in Asalatul Mahiyya, primordiality of coidity. أن الصورة الحاصلة في الذهن منسلخة عن ماهيتها الخارجية. The image which comes to the mind is emptied from its external mahiyya. Insalakh, insalakh, like when you suppose you peel something and you bring the fruit out of the peel, or for example, when a goat is slaughtered and then they remove the skin. Or in the Quran, we have إِذَنْ سَلَخَ الْأَشْهُرُ الْحُرُمُ. It comes from the same root. Pardon? Yeah, it's ensalakha. I don't know if you use the term salakh for the one who does zebh. They call also salakh in Fars because they remove the skin. Anyway, he says when something comes to the mind, its external mahiyya is taken away. It's you can say extracted. Stripped off. Yes. وَمُنْغَلِبَةٌ إِلَى الْكَيْفِ, and it turns into quality. So it loses its external mahiyya and becomes what? كَيْفَ نَفْسَانِيَّة. bayanu dhalik. Its explanation is like this. أن موجودية الماهية متقدمة على نفسها. Existence of Mahiyya is prior to Mahiyya itself. Okay? فَمَعَ قَطْعِ النَّظَرِ عَنِ الْوُجُودِ لَا مَاهِيَّةَ أَصْلًا. Because existence is prior to Mahiyya, so without existence there is no Mahiyya. And it is actually strange that someone who believes in Asalatul Mahiyya has said this. We will talk about this later. So, he says, مَعَ قَطْعِ النَّظَرِ عَنِ الْوُجُودِ. Regardless of existence, there is no Mahiyya. Mahiyya needs existence. الوجود الذهني والخارجي مختلفان بالحقيقة. External existence and mental existence are different in realities. Don't mix them up. Don't think they are the same reality. These are two separate realities. So, إذا تبدل الوجود. So, because wujud is prior to Mahiyya, so you have to tell me which wujud is for this Mahiyya so that I tell you what you expect from this Mahiyya. If this Mahiyya is wujud khariji is something, if it is with wujud dhahni is something else. Because wujud is the determining factor first, and second, wujud dhahni and khariji are two different realities. Okay? Yeah. So, فَإِذَا تَبَدَّلَ الْوُجُودِ. When wujud is changed, بِسَيْرُورَةِ الْوُجُودِ الْخَارِجِي ذِهْنِيًا. When external existence becomes mental, means when this goes to mind, it used to have wujud khariji, now it has wujud zihni. جَازَ أَن تَنْقَلِبَ الْمَاهِيَّةِ. When wujud changes, then Mahiyya also can change. بأن يتبدل الجوهر أو الكم أو غير ذلك كيفا. So Jawhar or Kam or anything else can become Kaif. Outside they were Jawhar, they were Kam, they were Kaif, or any other 10 categories. But in the mind they all become Kaif. فليس للشيء بالنظر إلى ذاته حقيقة معينة. There is no, for the same thing, one fixed reality. Forget that. Everything based on what type of wujud is there can be different reality. بل الكيفية الذهنية إذا وجدت في الخارج كانت جوهرا أو غيره. Mental quality when exists outside can become substance, can become aras. Also, الجوهر الخارجي إذا وجد في الذهن. External substance, if it comes to mind, كان كيفا نفسانيا, becomes mental quality. أما مباينة الماهية الذهنية للخارجية مع أن المدعى حصول الأشياء بأنفسها في الذهن وهو يستدعي أصلا مشتركا بينهما فيكفي في تصويره أن يصور العقل أمرا مبهما مشتركا بينهما. Then only one problem remains. You say, okay, if the same thing comes to the mind, becomes kayf and nafsani, when it goes outside can be any category. So what makes them identical? What makes them correspond to each other? He said, it's easy. Nafs, aql, can make a vague picture, a vague image that would be applicable to both. Like for example, when something is burnt, suppose kono fasad, for example, when you have bread, you put it in the toaster, but your toaster's control is not working properly, it's burnt. So you looked at this bread, it was, like brown. Now it is black. Okay? There is no similarity, but your mind says this is the same thing that used to be brown or used to be white. Okay? It's the same thing. So mind is able to find a connection between them. So this person says our mind is able to say this is the same thing which was outside was Jawhar, now it has become Kayfa Nafsani. But you see, there is a problem here. Because our mind is able to say the same bread has become black, but would not say this is the same bread now. Yeah, is the problem. What we need now is to be able to say that this is the same thing that is outside, not the same thing that used to be. أما مباينة الماهية الذهنية للخارجية. The difference between mental quiddity and external quiddity, while our claim is that things by themselves come to the mind, this needs a common factor, a common principle between them. For this is sufficient. For being able to conceive this common principle is sufficient that our intellect conceives a common, ambiguous matter which is common between the two, khariji and zihni, external and internal. And with that, we can say this is the same. So a little of that, a little of this, something in between that can help you connect them and relate them with each other. كما يصور المادة المشتركة, in the same way that our reason conceives a common material, a common matter between Ka'in wal Fasid al Maddiyain, two material things when one of them is turned to the other. You know, Kawn Fasad, we said change are two types. Haraka, which is gradual, and then Kawn Fasad, which is immediate, means something is corrupted, a new thing is generated, a new form. Okay. But there are problems with this idea. First of all, if you are a person who believes in asalatul mahiyya wa i'tibariyatul wujud, there is no real meaning for what you say about mahiyya becoming different based on wujud. This is asalatul, more, compatible with asalatul wujud. If mahiyya is asil, how can then wujud be prior to mahiyya and transforms mahiyya? So la muhassala. La muhassala means la ma'na muhassala. There is no, understandable meaning for what he has said, that mahiyya is transformed and the difference between two types of being in reality. These two have no meaning, become absurd based on what this person has accepted from asalat al-mahiyya wa i'tibariyat al-wujud. The second problem, when you say there is a vague picture that our mind makes to connect them, this leads to the same idea of shabah. It means that we are not able to understand what is outside as it is. The way to outside becomes blocked. Yeah? You can never understand anything as it is. أنه في معنى القول بالشبه. This is equal to the idea of saying that we would have vague image. بناء على ما التزم به, because he has committed himself, he has accepted to say what? that there is essential difference between mental image and what is known, which is outside. So the same problem with qawl of the shabah comes here, which is safsata, means you are not able to know what is outside. Knowledge is impossible. Then there is another objection. Another answer to the objection. وَمِنْهَا. So this is the third answer. Okay? First was by Qushti, second was by Sayyid Sadruddin al-Sanad. There is another answer. مِنْهَا مَا أَنْ بَعْضِهِمْ. It seems this is from Muhaqqiq al-Dawani. Muhaqqiq al-Dawani has said this. أن العلم لما كان متحدا بالذات مع المعلوم بالذات كان من مقولة المعلوم. He says, knowledge, because it has to be essentially identical with what is primarily known, so it has to be from the same category of what is known. So if what is known is jawhar, it's substance, ilm also has to be substance. If it is kam, ilm has to be kam. Whatever that is, ilm should follow. So then you say, okay, but they say ilm is kayfa nafsani. They don't say ilm of substance is substance, ilm of araz is araz. They say all types of ilm is kayfa nafsani. He says, أَمَّا تَسْمِيَّتُهُمُ الْعِلْمَ كَيْفًا. They name knowledge, salamatullah, كيف, a quality, فَمَبْنِيٌّ عَلَى الْمُسَامَحَةِ فِي التَّعْبِيرِ. This is based on inaccuracy, musamaha, flexibility, lenience. You want to be just flexible. It's not very precise and accurate way of talking. If you want to be very precise, you shouldn't call it kayf. Is there anything similar to this? He says, yes. كما يسمى كل وصف ناعت للغير كيفا في العرف العام. When people speak, anything which is used as a quality, as a description, as an adjective, they may call it kayf, even if it is a substance. Okay? For example, they say, this house has a quality, and that is, it has a garden. To have a garden is not a quality in the philosophical sense. Garden is a substance. So, Muhaqqiq al-Dawani says, don't take the concept of kayf seriously. It's based on musamaha. It's just flexibility and lenience in expression. وَبِهَذَا يَنْدَفِعُ إشكال اندراج المقولات الأخر تحت الكيف. So the problem that how other categories become quality, that is solved. No, they have not become kayf. Whatever they used to be outside, still they are the same. That problem is solved. But what about jawhar and aras? أما إشكال كون شيء واحد جوهرا وعرزا معا, which was the first objection. Okay? The first objection was that how something can be jawhar and araz. This is what we already gave answer. You remember we said Haji Sabzawari said the second objection is more difficult because for the first one you can say araz can be araz am for jawhar as well, because jawhar mahiyatun iza wujidat fil kharij wujidat la fi mawdu. So if iza wujidat fil zihn, وجدت في موضوع, no problem. So the first objection is already answered. For the second objection, we say it's not kayf. Forget kayf. It's not kayf. Whatever is outside, it's there in the mind. Allama Tabatabai says, no, this is not acceptable. How can you say in the mind it is jawhar? In the mind it is the same category which is outside. أن مجرد صدق مفهوم مقولة من المقولات على شيء لا يوجب اندراجه تحته. Just because this is the image of flower, yes, it is flower, but you cannot say it is falling under the same category as flower. Actually, this was the whole question. You didn't answer the whole question, because the whole question is how different things which fall under different categories can come to the mind. And in the mind, we cannot have different categories. So, if you say, no, because it is flower, so it has to be the same category. We say, no, it is flower, but not the same category. There is another explanation for this. أن مجرد صدق مفهوم مقولة من المقولات على شيء. The fact, just merely the fact, or the mere fact that the concept of a category applies to something would not make it fall under that category. Okay? So this image, you can say it's a human being, you can say it's a flower, you can say it's a quantity, but it doesn't make it actually under that category. Because of what we will discuss, inshallah, in future. When we say the answer given by Mullah Sadra, you will realize. Allah. Moreover, there's another problem. Who told you that philosophers, when they say it is kayf and nafsani, they are just talking, based on musamaha? They really mean this. They really mean that this is psychic quality. And kalamahum, the words of the philosophers, sarihun, explicit, في كون العلم الحصولي كيفا نفسانيا داخلا تحت مقولة الكيف حقيقة من غير مسامحة. They really mean this, that knowledge is a psychic soul. It falls under the category of kayf. Really. It's really kayf. Then we have the answer given by Mullah Sadra. I give you his answer briefly, but I leave it for the next session to go into details. The answer of Mullah Sadra is based on a distinction that he makes between Hamla Awwali and Hamla Shaya. We had this before in Mantiq and in philosophy. Even, when in Tanaquz they say there are different types of unity needed, that Tanaquz hasht wahdat shartan. There must be 8 types of unity. Mawzu, Mahmul, Zaman, Makan, the aspect, everything. Mullah Sadra also adds wahdatul hamla. Hamla Awwali and Hamla Shaya. So you have to be very careful. So, basically what Mullah Sadra says is, when we say A is B, there are 2 ways of saying this. Sometimes we say A is B, we mean that they have al-ittihad fil mafhum. They have unity in concept, means they are identical but in concept. They are conceptually the same. Okay, this is called al-hamlul awwaliyu dhati. For example, al-juz'i, juz'iyun. Al-juz'i, juz'iyun. Al-insan, insanun. But sometimes you say A is B, you mean A is existentially united with B. Okay? A falls under B. That's different. Al-Juz'i, if you look at Juz'i existentially, the concept of Juz'i is actually not Juz'i, it's Kulli. Because there are many concepts which are Juz'i. Okay? So, what is important is you have to always be conscious whether this ittihad, this unity is in mafhum only, it's hamla awwali, or in existence. Flower which comes to my mind is flower, and it is really flower. It's not shabah, it's really flower, but it is flower bil haml al awwali. And what is outside is flower bil haml al shaya. The flower in mind is flower bil haml al awwali. But what it is this bil haml al shaya? What is this in my mind which bil haml al awwali is flower? Bil haml al shaya is kayfa nafsani. This itself is kayfa nafsani. Okay? Like, mafhum al-juz'i. Mafhum al-juz'i bil haml al-awwali is juz'i, but bil haml al-shaya is kulli. Okay? So, the flower in mind is flower bil haml al-awwali, means conceptually. But as a reality, it is kayfa nafsani. Therefore, it has qualities, effects, athar of kayfa nafsani. It doesn't have athar of flower. Because to have athar of flower, you have to be flower in haml shaya. Okay? So, this is briefly the answer given by Mullah Sadra. Inshallah, we will talk about it in the next session. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.